The next topic, this one is simple. This one is simple. Masses are over now. What is the chemical formula of water? H2O. What is the chemical formula of glucose? C₆H₁₂O₆. What is the chemical formula of carbon dioxide? CO2. Right? So it means when I say water and I say its formula is H2O, then what does this formula is telling us? Two most important points. First, what are the elements present in water? You know, water contains hydrogen and oxygen. So what is the first most important contribution of a chemical formula is it tells you the name of the element. What else? It tells you the ratio of atoms. How many hydrogen do we have? 2. How many hydrogen oxygen do we have? 1. The ratio is there. Alright? So the definition you can see on the screen, a chemical formula is the combination of symbols. What is the symbol of hydrogen? H. What is the symbol of oxygen? O. And it forms a formula of a compound over here. So a chemical formula is a combination of symbols for atoms or ions which are held together chemically. Okay? Now there are two types of chemical formulas. Molecular formula and empirical formula. A conceptual topic. Wait for a while. Molecular formula and empirical formula. There are two types of chemical formula. Okay. So simple. Name. Pentene. Its formula is C₆H₁. It is its formula C₆H₁. This is its actual formula, which is representing the proper number of atoms of carbon and hydrogen. If someone asks, in pentene, how many carbons are there? 5. How many hydrogens are here? 10. This is called its actual formula, the real formula. The actual formula of a compound is called molecular formula. And we were using these molecular formulas to find out their masses. Alright? Molecular formula. Now, the next molecular formula means, I repeat, molecular formula means the actual formula of a compound. You see numbers over here. Can you cut these numbers? Can you simplify these numbers? Yes. 5 ones are 5. 5 twos are 10. So after simplifying it, I am writing it over here. 5 ones are 5. 5 twos are 10. So what we did here? We simplified it. So what do we call this formula? The simplified formula. Or the shortest formula. Or its proper name is empirical formula. So if someone asks, what is the definition of empirical formula? The simplified formula of a compound is called empirical formula. The shortest formula of a compound. It's common sense. If I ask, does this formula represent the actual number of atoms? No, at all. Not at all. It's just showing what? The ratio. 1:2, not the actual number of atoms. So the molecular formula represents the actual number of atoms, actual ratio. And this one doesn't represent the actual one, but the simplified one. And it only represents a mathematical ratio of the atoms. Now, by which number you multiplied it? I'm sorry, you divided it, you divided by 5. So in this case, we say 5 is the number and which is used for the simplification of here. It means I can say that if you multiply this back, 5 on the 5, I will get this formula back. See another example. Glucose. C₆H₁₂O₆. Yes, smart guys. What could be done? Yes, 6 to the 6, 6 to the 12, 6 to the 6. So what would be its simplified formula? 6 to the 6, 6 to the 12, 6 to the 6. C₁H₂O₁. If you don't want to write 1, you can't. Just leave it. And what is the value of N over here? Benzene. C₆H₁. Simplifying. C₁H₁. 6. Hydrogen peroxide. H₂O₂. 2 on the 2, 2 on the 2. H₁O₁. Or simply HO. Now a thing. Sulfuric acid. H2SO4. Here is the point. We are simplifying it. What is the rule of math? Whenever you bring a change in an equation, it should be balanced. If I cut 2 on the 2, 2 to the 4 and write here H1, then I say it is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because we can't simplify S. There is no number over here. It means we did it incorrectly. You have to simplify it in all of these atoms. You can't leave one without simplification. No, at all. Not at all. Okay. So what will be its formula? Same H2SO4. Water. H2O. Simplification is not possible. So H2O is molecular and formula same. All right. Now here are a few points. See the screen. So the difference in these two. The actual formula of a compound is called molecular formula. The simplest formula of a compound is called empirical formula. It represents the actual number of atoms. It doesn't represent the actual number of atoms, but the simplified ratio. Next, ionic compounds, there isn't any formation of molecules, so illogical to say molecular formula of ionic compounds is in there. Ionic compounds do not have molecular formula. Ionic compounds only have empirical formula. All right. And yes, integral multiple of empirical formula. Told you. I'm asking, if you want to convert an empirical formula into molecular formula, what should you have to do? You have to multiply it by a number. And here you should. So it means empirical formula, when multiplied by a number, it will give you back molecular formula. For example, the molecular formula of the empirical formula of glucose is C₁H₂O₁. And which was the number? 6. If you multiply it, you will get what? C₆H₁ or 6. So this is called an integral multiple. Try to understand it. The same examples you can see on the screen. You can, if you want to take the screenshot, you can. Nothing is new. Okay. What else?